Guys, thanks for joining me. Melissa here. I wanted to do a video about marriage again and where I'm at. So I saw someone tonight and I'm like, you know what? I have been so happy since you encouraged me last week to go to God. Just go to God and trust him. Proverbs 3:5-6. Acknowledge him in all your ways. Is kind of what I came back from with my own verse. So anyways, so he's like, yeah, stay happy. He's like, don't be so hard on yourself. So anyways, I was just, it was good to talk again. And so where am I at? I am just trusting God. I am just trusting God with life. It's the easiest way to be, guys. Just trust him. He's taken good care of me this far. He took care of me when I was a little girl. God has always taken care of me, so why would I doubt him now, right? It's just the trials come and you're like, oh my goodness, what is going on? Life definitely was easier in some ways when you were a child, right? Because your parents were making all the decisions. So anyways, I was talking to this lady. We are setting up Stephen's ministry next week. And she called me last night when I was at the library because I had to do some stuff on work at the library. And she's like, is now a good time to talk? And I'm like, yeah. And so this is what I'm thinking of, and this is what I want to talk about. And so I said, I just want wise people around me right now to talk about things with my husband. Because, guys, I could go forward, as I said, and put on put on some more court stuff, right? Put on, like I said, I can take them to court for Donna getting into my marriage, for Carrie getting into my marriage. It's super hot in here. The heat kicked in. you know um I can still go to court because a lot of this stuff has been pretty phony. So I was just telling her about it, and she's like, I'm like, I want to know what, I'm just kind of walking with God, praying it out, trying to think of what is God's will, what is his will, not what I want. And I'm like, you know what, if it was up to me, because I have so much love for my husband, I would go back to New Hampshire and work things out with him. I would. It's obviously obvious. I still love my husband. I married him for love. I continue to love my husband. And after I told her everything with the smear campaign and the lying about me and the throwing me and all this stuff he tried to do to me because he was angry, controlling me, whatever, acting like his mom, whatever. Um, she's like, you would go back to him after that? And I'm like, yeah, I would. Because, guys, you can have things happen to you on the outside. People do awful things to you, but it doesn't affect who you are. If you're confident, you know who you are, and you know how to deal with things. Like I had, when he was starting to be mean to me, I'm like, God, take me out of this marriage. Just take me out of this marriage right now. He is not being nice to me. And so, then he threw me, and, that was his lowest point ever, I think, in our marriage, ever. So I'm like, you're out, get out. And I told this lady, too, that I kicked him out. She's like, good. I go, I always had that standard. If a guy touched me, the end, out you go. And I said he didn't want to leave. And I said, if you don't leave, I'm calling the police. You're not going to treat me like this. You're not going to treat your boys like this. It ain't happening. Your boys are not going to see this example, right? So he was in his truck. It was after Thanksgiving. Yes, the holidays are high with stress. Yes, we were losing our home. It was stressful for him, more him than me. I don't get attached to things like he does. It was stressful for him. And you know what? Everybody loses their temper sometimes. Everybody does. So he just, I'm not justifying it, but he did lose his temper. He lost his temper. He had it. He was stressed. And I'm not saying it's okay at all. I am not, ladies. But there is a difference between a guy who beats on a woman, and they'll call anything abuse nowadays, but there is a difference between a guy who beats on a woman and somebody who lost their temper, and to take responsibility for me, not that I deserve to be thrown, but I was raising my voice, and I was like, you're going to cut the crap, you keep doing this, you're going to cut it out. And I was in his face. I was. And that can be difficult for somebody to take. But yet my heart was not being aggressive. I was just like, you need to change. And usually, if we've had an issue where my finger has, not in his face, not personally, but I'm like, this is how I express myself. Usually what he would do is take my hand and be like, you know what? If you don't put that finger away, I'm going to bite it, or I'm going to, you know what I mean? It was just, he knew this is the way I talk. He knows it is. And I usually have my hands on my hips when I talk, and I point my finger, and he knows the way I am, and usually he's like, cut that out and get over here and give me a hug, right? So he knows my personality. He knows the way I am. So, there's a difference, guys. So that's why I had forgiven him, and slowly let him come back so that he would never touch me again. And so we had worked everything out, and then I hear about all this crap with him making up stories, saying I left him in his truck. Is this like was this a lie, my whole life with him? Was the whole thing a lie? Like, did he just like lie to me constantly in my life? And the question is, when you can play the victim like that, and instead of saying, you know what, I'm discouraged, I'm disappointed, I didn't want her to leave, she felt like she needed to go, I agreed to it because, there was nothing available. He turned it, instead of being like, you know what, I'm just discouraged and I'm feeling kind of down about it. So, yeah. So now we're at a point now where, I had forgiven him, and he came back into my life, and we dated again, and we worked everything out, I thought, and then boom, this happens, right? And, you're kind of like, why did this happen, God? This has been going on, what, like 3 years? 2022 I got here? Yeah, 3.5 years. It's like, what in the world just happened, right? And you were told in scripture, you will have trouble in life, there will be things that happen, and God just took care of me. He just totally took care of me. I mean, I've been with my sons, I've had it pretty easy. He's just taking care of me, and even though, my husband tried to smear my name, it didn't work. It just didn't work, because I know myself very well, and I know what I believe, and I know what I think. And if you don't take the time to get to know somebody, you're not going to know, he knows his wife. He knows his wife, so I don't even know why he thought he could come up against me. So, this woman, after telling her so much, she's like, and you're going to go back to him? And why would you do such a thing? Be careful of Christian advice, guys. Be careful of that, because some of it is not godly. And why would I go back to him? I don't have to go back to him. I'm totally free. I don't owe him anything. I'm not even married as far as I know. Even if, I told her I didn't even get a certificate of divorce. I just haven't gotten it. I looked online. They said you can get it. And I'm like, I don't really feel I need to get it. And she's like, does it matter anyways? I'm like, yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what a piece of paper says, really. So, I haven't really taken the time to do that, because it doesn't really matter to me. I know him and he knows me, and a piece of paper doesn't change it. But legally, I owe him nothing. Legally, I don't think I owe him anything in any way. So, would I want to go back to him? I'm like, if it was up to me, I would. I love him. So why would I not? But if there's some stuff that I need to know, then I need to know it. And is he going to change? Are there real changes, or is he just going to lie to me? Is he, You know, are there secrets that he's not going to be upfront about? I mean, what would it look like? So that's where, you know, you gotta lean on God, ladies, and just be like, what does God want? God, you show me. You show me the truth. Sometimes when my husband lied to me, I'd be like, God, show me the truth here. And sure enough, the truth would come out. And, you know, pray. Say, God, you got the eagle's view. You see it all. Show me, you know, just show me. And when you pray to God, He has a way of showing you things. It's true. It's true. Completely true. I met, I met a lady called Melissa May, and I'm like, that is so weird, you know? And there's like these little things that happen in life, and you're like, oh my goodness, this is a coincidence. And I'm not saying that was from God. I'm just saying there's a million things in life that happens, and you know, you're just like, how in the world did I go through that? How did I survive that? How did I, whatever. So, yeah. So, I don't owe him. So it's like, why would you go back to him? And I think it's just when you love somebody, you're willing to be gracious. You're willing to show them the grace that God has showed you. And I think if my husband and I did not work things out after I left the first time in marriage, I would not have 5 sons. I would not have, I, you know, I would have been a Christian because that was definitely God's will. But I don't know. I became a Christian after, you know, because my husband showed so much love to me, you know. So I don't even owe that because I have showed love to him even after mistakes he has made. So I don't owe him. I just don't. So it would have to be two mutual people maturing, coming together. And I mean, it's not even, at first I was like, look, I will forgive him and he's going to have to earn my trust because it's been 33 years. I already invested. But even then, it's not even for the investment anymore. It's not even, yes, I invested in him. My reward is up in heaven for investing, for all the times I did good things to him. But I just, there's no reason. It's just, I don't even feel like biblically I owe that to him before God. I don't. God wants people to stay together, but if he leaves, it's like, what are you supposed to do? So it would depend on a lot, but I am willing, and I guess I'm talking about this because I feel like it's like a now or never, you know. If I wait, if I stay here another year with an apartment, what's that going to look like? You know, life is short, guys, so this is why you want to deal with things promptly. Okay, thanks for joining me, guys.